Good morning. It's Sunday, August the 13th. We're actually having a rainy August. So it's our weekly walk through the garden. Let's get started. The hydrangeas are actually, you may not be able to tell, but they're showing the amount of rain. They are going for it right now. Beautiful. Actually showing some pink already. But kind of droopy just because of all that rain. We just got over a rainstorm. Thinking we might be done and safe for this tour, but you never know. Strawberry vanilla are is that one, and that one is the limelight. We still have the rudbeckia, the liatris going for it. Looks like the lavender's done. That's rudbeckia green eyes, although there's not much green left in those eyes. Our dahlias are going for it. That is Joey Morella. And of course we still have the cone flowers. We actually still have some blooms on the Stand By Me Clematis. That's been amazing. That has to be going on 2 months now, I'm thinking. Not near as many blooms, but still giving us some later season color. We have some Verbena bonariensis, which is a little hard to see in the camera. This, I want to say, is Dahlia Joey or Joey. I'm not sure how you say that. Winnie. Not really going for it. Not sure why. Maybe could use some. It's also very short, kind of spread out. Maybe it could use some fertilizer. We have some new blooms on our Golden Jubilee Agastache, or Agastache. We've got some flopping in our Nepeta. It's already been cut back. Maybe I cut it back too early. I don't know. It didn't bloom. The second flush wasn't great, and it looks like it needs to be cut back again already. Dahlia there that hasn't bloomed yet. Not sure which one that is. Some more. I like that bright pop of color on the Golden Jubilee. More liatris. I like it better when it's in a clump like that. Not sure why I have some singles and clumps. This dahlia is in between blooms, but still not getting. This is the Golden Celebration dahlia that I've overwintered for a couple years. A lot of plant, not a lot of blooms. A couple of blooms is all so far. But it may be because it's been wet. Sedum down there. Don't remember the name. If I think about it, I'll pop it on the screen. Getting ready to bloom. That's a new one for me this year. There's that hydrangea, either Top Fun or Top Gun, I want to say. That's the name of it. It's blooming. Finally not burning out so bad since I moved it. Got some gladiolas that are starting to bloom. And some volunteer brunnera that's popping up. Let's talk about the inside bed. I used some chelated iron on this hydrangea and it has worked. the iron deficiency. I'm not sure if I pointed it out in any other video, but it kind of leaches out the green in the leaves, and you can really see the veining in the leaves, and it was pretty bad on that hydrangea. And not only is it almost completely gone, you can still see a little bit of yellowing in the leaves, but it's almost completely gone. It also took off, really sprouted up. And the funny thing is I have pink and purple. I'm not sure. So I have 3 hydrangeas in there. They all bloom on old wood. But that one looks completely different. It doesn't look quite as lace cap as the purple one. So maybe they're not all 3 the same. That one hasn't started to bloom yet. It's got some buds on it. My water trough is full many times over. We've gotten 5 inches of rain just this week. I got a beautiful spider web that formed overnight. I wish you could see it. You can, if you look at the water, you might be able to see it a little bit. I know some people probably hate spiders, but we don't have any poisonous or biting ones, so to me, I love nature. It's beautiful. I have a tiny lemony lace elderberry I stuck in there because I thought it was dying, and that area floods out pretty good. The rain comes off the roof there. That's how the trough gets filled, and it overflows in that trench right there, so that just gets flooded with water. I still have the dead evergreens. I want them to come back to life. I'm feeding them Thrive. I do not have good luck with evergreens. I think that one's pretty much gone. I don't think there's any hope of bringing that one back. House plants, still doing well. Window box, the lime thyme coleus has taken over. You can't see, there's 3 hostas in there. You can't see hardly any hosta at all. And the watermelon impatiens are trying to hang on. Another, not 100% dead. I'm still holding out hope. It's got a tiny bit of green on the ends of it. I don't know. Maybe somebody here who has a little more expertise than me on evergreens can tell me if I should give up hope or not. It was in the ground. I dug it up, repotted it, and I've been trying to nurse it back to life, but we'll see. Some more evergreens over here. I have a blue one there that's lost almost all of its needles. Another arborvitae there, it's an emerald green. Both of the ones that are completely dead, I believe, are emerald green. And then this one is Gold Drift Norway Spruce. It's the most alive out of all of them. But pretty soon it's going to have to go back in the ground because winter is coming, unfortunately. What else is going on in this bed? The bleeding hearts are going over, done for the year. The laced up elderberry has grown this year. It was at the bottom of the chicken laying container. Decoration now. So it's grown maybe 2 feet, maybe 3 feet this year. The hollyhocks are leaning over onto the hydrangea. But there you can kind of get an idea of how it's drooping. And I have to keep cutting it back off the walkway. I have some gladiolas here that are popping up that haven't bloomed yet. Looking forward to that. And I have a hardy hibiscus there that still has yet to bloom this year. So we still have some stuff to look forward to. All right, back down the path, which is again being overtaken by the Brunnera. Here you can see the drooping. They will pick up some. Top ones aren't drooping, but the bottom ones there are. Still my favorite corner of my flower gardens. Love the layering, just the healthy lushness of that. My blue hosta not keeping up with that Sun King Aurelia. Actually might have to take, and neither is this hosta. Might have to take that out, that hosta out, and move it over. I don't know. I had no idea it would get that big in one season. Again, probably helped along by all the rain. Banana tree, you know, it's not as impressive as I thought. I thought it was going to be, I mean, it's probably 4 feet tall. Maybe it doesn't get enough sun, but I had it in full sun and it got really burned and ratty looking from the wind. So we get a lot of wind here. Truth of the matter is I probably will not overwinter that one. I won't waste my energy. Limelight, doing well. I have a amaryllis blooming next to my, it's in a pot. I bring it in. I bring out all my plants in the summer. Take them in the fall, it'll die back and it'll rebloom. So that way my amaryllis usually bloom twice a year for me. Right now the Millennium Alliums are really going for it. I need to move some plants there. Millennium Allium is buried and I have 2 blue grasses underneath there. I keep moving plants out, but I'm just going to have to take them out altogether. Apparently can't plant anything in front of that Gold Mound Spirea, because it just keeps growing. And I trimmed it back this year, but it's huge. It's loving life there. Still some blooms on this Stand By Me Clematis. I have a perennial sweet pea that's blooming down in there. It's kind of wild and spreads, and I've tried to pull it up several times, but I can't seem to get rid of it. So there it is. You'll see some pink tags hanging. That's because I hybridized or pollinated some daylilies. And they're growing some seed heads. So pretty excited. Around Thanksgiving, so once those seed heads develop and the seeds, they start to crack open so the seeds are ready, I will put them in the refrigerator, store them in the refrigerator until I'm ready to plant them around Thanksgiving. And we'll see how that goes. The Crocosmia lucifer still blooming. Not as many blooms on it, but it's still doing its thing. Couple liatris over here. So this is a good example of, this is salvia, midnight, something or other, that has the iron deficiency. So I just put iron on that yesterday. So we'll see how that does. My very first encounter with using the chelated iron, the plant died. So I don't know if I didn't mix it right or what. So I was really nervous about using it again. But when that hydrangea over there turned around, it gave me courage. Believe it or not, those hydrangeas over there, they bloom on old wood. And with our Zone 4B heavy snow load, lake effect snow, I don't do well with hydrangeas that bloom on old wood. So I was willing to sacrifice it. That's what I'm basically saying. I would have just replaced it with something else. That's kind of how I feel when I kill a plant, is it's an opportunity to grow something else. Another amaryllis there in a pot that's coming back. And they get rained on, rained heavy. And it doesn't kill them. I used to think that if you got rain down in the bulb that it would die, but I don't know. They're outside in the rain and they don't die. The Autumn Joy sedum is getting ready to bloom there. I have another delphinium that's getting ready to bloom. And it's light green now, so are there two there? And now this is a different one that's blooming? I thought one was dead. But maybe it just took it longer to come back. It's got a few bloom spikes on it. We've got one there. We got a tall one there. We got a couple. We got one there and one down in there. So happy about that. I did plant a bunch of baby delphiniums. They're so tiny. There's one down in there, and there's two down in there. Just little tiny baby ones, not sure. They're the ones that were on the deck, front walkway, not deck. And I don't know, I got tired with they were drowning constantly with our heavy rains, so I replanted. I just put them in the ground. Got some, I want to say they're stargazer lilies that are buried there in the hardy hibiscus. We have that buried Autumn Joy sedum. This finally found its way to pop up through there and gonna bloom. We have yarrow blooming. Another Sun King Aurelia. This is the hardy hibiscus evening rose. It's got a lot of blooms on it there. We still have that to look forward to. My yarrow that flops, and I kind of have to cut it back all the time. Another thing I love about my yard is I grow mushrooms. And I mean, when I'm saying we can grow mushrooms, we grow huge mushrooms. And they're so nature, architecture, just beautiful to me. I love mushrooms. This one looks like it's broken off. That one down there, but we got another one. Love it. Love, love, love it. We had a ton of them in the spring. And over here, we still have the crocosmia and the blue Siobhan Rosa Sharon still going for it. I hope that survives the winter. We're a zone 4B, that is a zone 5 plant. So you'll find out with me next year if it comes back. I can't wait until it's a huge. I so badly want something to grow big and huge there. I have an arborvitae. That's tree that eventually will be big there too, maybe. I keep planting stuff hoping, but everything, it takes patience. So we'll see. All right, side bed. We have I'll go on the back side of it today. For right now, we have a volunteer sunflower. It's beautiful. Doing its thing. I have some snapdragons. Wow, it is so wet. We have standing water. Snapdragons and Lysianthus that is flopped over. I have another hardy hibiscus. I want to say it's something storm. I never can remember the name of that. If I think of it, maybe I'll pop it up on the screen. I'm not very good at remembering to do that. This is the back side of the garden that rarely ever gets shown. I would like to put in some decorative fence to separate this from the backyard. Kind of like I kind of would rather have a picket fence though, I think. We'll see. We'll see. I got lots of plans, but everything is time and money. So slow and steady. This is a willow, and boy can it grow. I can't even, I wanted to trim it more into a tree form than a shrub form, but I can't keep up with it. So some different daylilies. Do not know the names of these daylilies. They were gifted to me by my brother. This one's different for me. I really like that one. That's kind of an cream and pink color. I do wish I knew the names of these. That's pretty. I should move that into my new bed. I'm going to try an all pink bed. I'll show it to you here at the end. It's new. So yeah. I just mow a path here behind that flower bed. But I think it would be really neat maybe. This is the spot I also talk about doing a wood pile, stacking a wood pile. It's like a bug hotel. A large bug hotel. And the chicken coop is over there. Barn and chicken coop. So we keep those weeds high to offer some shade. Well, and we just have a lot of property to maintain. so the cows could go in there and clean that up if we needed it to be cleaned up. I also have a couple of evergreens on the back side of this. That's a gold cone. Are they gold cone? Let's see. Yeah, gold cone, juniper, another gold cone juniper. I was a little afraid it was too wet back here, but we do keep building these beds up. I have some like of the berry poppins. They've never really given me berries, and I do have the male. But we'll see. Yeah, so that's the back side of that bed. Now we'll walk around to the front. I have a new Sweet Summer Love there. It's starting to put on some new growth. It was planted this year, so it'll take it a bit before it gets big. Still have this is the one that bloomed in the spring, and it still has those pretty seed heads on it that look like they're out of Dr. Seuss. I love those seed heads. There's some gladiolas there, some red ones. No bloom spikes yet. Some more seed pods growing. Which is funny because I thought all of these daylilies were diploids, but they were crossed with a tetraploid, so they have to be tetraploids. I just don't know the name of them, but also beautiful. Another strawberry vanilla hydrangea over here, but it's the same age as the other ones. It's been moved 3 times. Not for a couple years though, and it doesn't do as well as the others. Of course, it's probably getting choked out by that willow. I have the Lady of Shalott is starting to put out some new blooms. It is also still Japanese beetle season, so there's that. Love that Lady of Shalott, and it does well in our zone 4B. But look at, this is what I mean by Japanese beetle season. Oh, they are a curse. I need to clean up that rhubarb. It's pushing out a couple of new leaves. Need to cut back those old ones. This one, these roses here are Munstead wood. Those orange stakes are because I planted some iris back there. And I'm really bad about planting something and then seeing a hole and thinking, oh, there's a spot to plant something in. And digging up something I just planted. So now I'm putting some markers in so I know not to dig there. The daylily, a spider form that's getting ready to bloom. Some beautiful Verbena bonariensis. And this lighting is just almost fluorescent looking. It's beautiful. And especially like if you see it next to this summer wine 9 bark, it just really stands out. This is how much water we've gotten. I just have standing water everywhere in the yard. That's why I'm glad these are built up, these beds, a little bit. I also tried planting some dill late. It's coming up. We'll see. What I wanted to do is to drop seed, but I don't think it has enough time to come back next year for the butterflies. So is it swallowtail? I forget which butterfly, but it's a host plant. So if it doesn't drop seed and come back, I will plant it again next spring. I got a huge weed here in my bush that's driving me nuts because I have a raspberry bush planted in there. One of those bushel and berry raspberries. It's kind of getting crowded out by the rest of the things. My onion seeds, I need to watch them this week because they look like they're about ready. More Verbena bonariensis. We have more hardy hibiscus. I haven't pointed them all out, but they're all setting blooms, so that's going to happen here soon. More Verbena bonariensis. And the Vista Jazzberry back there that's in that milk container. We still have the hollyhocks. A few too many of the same color, but right now I have a lot of purple going on in the garden, which I love purple, don't get me wrong, but I also like a variation. Alien Starchild is still going for it. That is the one, believe it or not, that I have pollinated all the others with pretty much. Seems very fertile both ways. This one has seed pods on it that I did not pollinate with itself. I've used other ones, but I wasn't very good about labeling. But that has been very floriferous, if that's a word. My Japanese anemones are getting ready. They're putting up some bloom spikes. Very excited about that. More Millennium Alliums. If it weren't so early in the morning, you would see those are a pollinator magnet. I think when you come out here, there's not room for one more pollinator. The hollyhocks back there are really the host plant for the Japanese beetles, as you can see. That right there is what Japanese beetles do to leaves and buds, especially rose buds. They prefer the rose buds as opposed to the leaves, and some roses more than others. Hopefully Japanese beetle season is about done. This is Asheville Encore. Looking a little weathered today from the rain, but it is also a beautiful one. Purple gladiolas are blooming and drooping. That's the only thing about gladiolas. Keeping them upright. You need a tall support to keep them upright. Should put them back against the fence maybe to also help keep supported. I always think, well, eventually I'll have enough stuff planted around them so they won't droop, but not possible maybe. This support here might be tall enough, but as you can see, this support here is probably almost 4 feet, maybe 3, somewhere between 3 and 4 feet. And look at that bloom spike. It's high enough above it so that it's still gonna break off and bend, get top heavy like that. I love gladiolas. They're a beautiful flower, but I don't like it when they break off and bend over and Anyway, I digress, sorry. Here is a hardy hibiscus. I would love to tell you the names of them, but I pretty much have every single hardy hibiscus that Proven Winners has put out, especially in their Summerific series. And I, of course, did not label them. Hence all the new labels you may see around. I'm trying to be better at labeling. That was actually yesterday's bloom, and they really only bloom for one day. So maybe it popped out late in the evening is why it's still there. But it's got a bunch. That's probably today's bloom. Love hardy hibiscus. The only thing is it takes them forever to break dormancy. Well into June to break dormancy. So if you have it, it really leaves a hole in your garden for a long time. Makes it look like there's a bare spot. And we all know I don't like bare spots in my garden. I like to plant very heavy so that I don't have to weed or do very little weeding. My containers were horrible this year except for the one. They didn't do much at all. Terrible this year. Gotta go back to the drawing board on that. I got a big thistle in there that needs to come out. Speaking of weeding. Some more. I love that summer wine 9 bark, and it's starting to, or that is summer wine black 9 bark. Love it. I'm loving it. I love the color and the standout, and it's starting to grow through the fence a little bit back there. I like that too. I love that deep dark color. Oh, I have a new gladiola that's blooming back there. It's supposed to be a red. It's not a saturated red though. I don't dig my gladiolas up, so they probably could use to be divided a little bit, but they're still blooming. These are not staked at all, so we'll see how that goes. Daylily, a no name. I think that's seeds that I bought. I do like to buy seeds and plant them. Lupins are going over, looking pretty bad back there. They could use a trim. We got some flowers going on here. We have coneflower. We have some salmon zinnias or zinnias. We have some marigolds. And we have rudbeckia. Some snapdragons in there, some pink ones. They just kind of bloom all summer long off and on because they come back on their own. They set seed, come back every year. Another daylily that I don't know the name of. Some more purple gladiolas here that are not staked. And I also have my white lilies that smell amazing that are blooming that need to be moved because they are definitely full shade there. I can't imagine any sun is reaching them between this autumn, sweet autumn clematis, something autumn. But with the red lily beetle, they look so ratty anyway. I'm not sure. They probably won't get moved. So this is the only container that I'm okay with this year. You can't hardly see that it's a container anymore. It has, I planted, not pansies, petunias. Purple petunias in the bottom. Then they have the Cornell bronze dahlias. And then that clematis that's growing up over top. So that's the back side of that bed. Sorry, I have the barn door open there because my onions are drying in there. So there you have it. You can see a little bit more of the white lilies. The blooms themselves are not horrible. And the smell, oh, I wish you could smell it. It's amazing. And there's that summer wine black 9-bark. It's beautiful. It's just starting to poke out of the fence. I don't know what clematis that is. That might be another sweet summer love clematis. That one has never bloomed for me. Might be another one of these. I have 3 of the autumn. I have 3 clematis, but I don't know if that one is autumn or summer. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I always try to put one on that 4th. I wanted something over the whole fence, but I don't seem to have a lot of luck in that spot on that 4th one. We'll see. All right, now I'm going to give you an update on the side of the house, the other side, the new bed. We'll walk over there. Starting to develop the other side of the house, potentially heading out to the forgotten garden. Probably not this year, but we'll see. I do keep expanding. You'll see my husband and I dug a trench, most of it by hand. We ran water and electric out to the front yard. I'll show you here in a minute. But here is the bed we put in. This is another one of those sweet autumn clematis. Why can't I ever remember the names when I do these tours? Growing up the side there. I need to weed. I got some weeds coming in this bed, especially with all the rain. So it's Bobo. And so they did turn yellow and drop quite a few leaves, but they're still not completely hating life since I transplanted them from the forgotten garden. Bobo, emerald green, the only one that, arborvitae, the only one that lived. Bobo. I changed to North Pole, which needs to be staked. Bobo, North Pole, and our water saving barrel, which I've actually used a fair amount. So there you have it. This would be the west facing side of our house. That is another strawberry vanilla, which was gifted to me. I do have on this property, I have not pointed them all out. I probably have just about every paniculated hydrangea, panicle hydrangea. I have over in that corner, another limelight. That area needs work. That's the problem. So the reason why I haven't really worked in that area is the dogs. The dogs have access. It's hard when you have dogs and they want to dig everything up. But we'll get there. You'll see my vegetable garden down there. Garden shed. These are all, you can't see from here, but all trees I've planted. That's for the cows down there, and the water for the cows. For our little hobby farm. I have a viburnum here, which got a couple of berries this year. So maybe my other viburnum helps pollinate it. That's grown a fair amount this year. Happy about that. A yew there, not sure which kind of yew, but it's, again, this is maybe year 2 or 3 for that. And it started to die off, but it's pushing out some new growth now. I see it's got a big weed in it. This is the side of the house here. I have lilac. Lilac, which the voles just about destroyed, not last winter, the winter before. They ate all the bark all around the bottom, so I cut it back to the ground. It flushed back. Then I have elderberry, because I want to actually grow elderberries to make some elderberry syrup. But man, these have been here for maybe 4 years now, and they just do not take off. And now look at this one. Dying off on the top, pushing a little new growth down at the bottom. The middle one does the best, and it actually does have a couple of berries on it. Not enough to make syrup, but that's the first time it's ever gotten berries. And then this one never. I think I need to transplant them to a more wet location. Put in 2 new apple trees, and we need to stake them better, obviously. But I have put protection around the bottom this winter for the voles, hopefully. But yeah, we put one stake in because they were leaning the other way. Now they're leaning the other way, so definitely need to put another stake on those. And then here's a new bed, which I've just started working on. These plants were here. Another yew, same as the other side. No dieback. Here's a little tree I transplanted that I have no idea what it is. I planted some coneflowers. There's another viburnum that's probably grown, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet this year. I plan on putting more viburnums in. I want more natives so that for the pollinators, absolutely love. I've had just so many new pollinators this year. It's wonderful. Bunch of plants coming for the new bed. Excited about that. This is the one that I'm going to try to do in all pink. I don't know if I'm going to like all pink. I have some lilies there that were planted last fall. No, early spring. They're not totally pink. They're pink on the outside. We'll see. This is actually Edge of Night hardy hibiscus that's been in the shade. So if you grow a hardy hibiscus that has dark foliage, and this is Edge of Night, has the darkest foliage, almost black. But if you grow it in the shade, it's going to be green. So it just now I transplanted it maybe 2 days ago. And so it's starting to turn some color already. That's the second or third year though. That should be way bigger, but it was in too much shade. It's the first garden I've lined with stone. Not sure how I feel about it or how it's going to maintain because of weeds. But we'll see. These are all stones from us, from our landscaping. We have, oh my, this is stone central, as you can see. So a lot of these stones were even taken out of this mound. All right, finally we actually have a couple of these beds that we had put in. I wanted to start when I started landscaping out here and they got forgotten. So, because we had water issues. So now we still don't have the drilled well. We're still working with our dug well. We were promised at the end of June and then the end of July. And we still don't have it. But if you've ever lived in upstate New York where we live, that's how customer service works here. And you have 0 options, so you just accept it. And that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, so we dug a trench, buried electric and water so I can start landscaping the front yard. Might be a next year project. We will see. And that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed our Sunday morning weekly walkthrough. Thanks again for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate you following my hobby with me. Have a great week.